big old truck in here. What am I working on? This is a '02 Avalanche. I do believe. I think it is. We're gonna find out. Let me look at the door. Yeah. It's a 2000. Oh, it's a 9 of '01. So I'm gonna say 2002 Avalanche. This is what I got. The car starts and does this number. Strange, right? I didn't notice the dash lights weren't on when I first got the truck. This is crazy, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. So I don't know what's up with it. We're gonna find out. So I did a complete scan. This is what came up. Strangely, I tried to do a generic scan on here and it wouldn't even connect. I don't understand. Let's see what comes on. Mass airflow performance. Engine misfire detected. Strange, because I look under here and that throttle body was replaced. It looks brand new. I don't know who the hell did it. I thought I worked on this guy's car. The man's cheating on me, man. Cheating on me. So, pass. Is now, one thing I did notice when I did try to accelerate, give it gas, it would choke up. It wouldn't take it. It wouldn't take me giving it throttle. So yeah, I'm gonna look at something right quick. Strange thing, when I would go to start it up, when it wouldn't start, it wouldn't hit, it wouldn't catch or anything. I let it sit, then it'll start up. I wonder what these fuel trims look like when it's doing this, because normally if the mass airflow sensor was the problem, I want to roll the window up and so normally if I was to start it up, looking at patterns here, so if I was to start it up when it stalled, it wouldn't hit, it wouldn't do anything. But why, when I let it cool down for like 10 seconds, then it'll start up? Let's see what the mass airflow says. Because I assume I would get lean code. Lean code, right? Let's see if I can pull up some initial readings. If it'll stay running long enough. Look at that. Jet pulse width is 35 milliseconds. That's pretty grand, ain't it? Why would it be 35 milliseconds? It shouldn't be that long. That's an open loop. Fuel trims. Let's go to heated sensor bank 2 and 1. I want that. Let's get that anyway. Pretty sure the mass airflow. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. It's 0.005 and it's not even running. One thing I did notice, even though it's like pounds per second, I think that's what that is, pounds per second. Normally, like it shouldn't be anything right now because it's not running, but this is 0.05 at idle. Most cars, like 6 cylinders, 4 cylinder, will be 0.01. This scale is pretty broad. It's not going to be like a narrow scale. And if the numbers are high, it makes sense for the fuel injector pulse width to be high because it thinks it's getting a lot of air when it's not. But look at these fuel trims. Sucker. Hold on, let me turn it off and back on. Let's see here. So the mass airflow went down, injector pulse width went down. It went up, then the injector pulse width started to go up and then start to stall. What the fuck, man? What's going on here? My oxygen sensors aren't moving because it's still stuck in the open loop. Let me see if I can hold the gas pedal and do something. It's probably something stupid and simple. It's at 0.7 now. So it dropped to 1. Look at that. Now it's going up. Starting to act stupid. Look at that. Let's chase the mass airflow sensor. See what's going on with that. Okay, so I did a visual inspection. Let me get this light. Hold on. Let me see if I can. So I did a visual inspection of the mass airflow sensor. Check the intake tube here. There's no obvious holes. It's not loose. What I'm going to do, pull the mass airflow out, clean it, look at it. We'll look at it, then clean it, see if it make any type of better corrections. I want to say, yeah, it's the mass airflow sensor. I really want to say that only because of what the PIDs were saying, but I know it's not nothing really conclusive, but it makes sense based off the injector pulse width and then the readings that should normally be displayed in the PIDs. I try to give it gas. It doesn't want to take anything. I mean, if this is getting mixed information, then yeah, I can understand. But let me pull it out, clean it, see what's up with it. All right, oh gosh, I'm falling. So first thing I noticed once I got the mass airflow out is this thick, oily, pasty substance on front of this grill here, and it looks like it's going to be a dirty mass airflow sensor. And I know sometimes that when people get it's a FRAM filter on here, and they put a FRAM filter on there, they require you to oil it, and people think they're maintaining it and all this fancy stuff that, you know, they're like doing something, but that oil get past that filter element. It is oily, and yeah, it gets on the heating element inside of there, and it could cause obstructions. I could scope this. I really could. Let me think about that, because they haven't done a scope video in a while, and it would be pretty nice to see the voltage, what it could be doing. But at the same time, this is not like a car I want to be working on today, because I had another car I'm supposed to be doing. Let me figure it out. Let me see what I want to do. All right, the more I really start looking at this, the more I'm really starting to conclude the mass airflow is going to be the culprit, even though the check-in light stated it. It's more confirmed with this. So I look down in there, there's oil sitting in there, and it's gelatinous. So it looks gelatinous. Let me see if I can get this light to hold, stay in its place. Yeah, look at that. Oh gosh. Well, I was wrong, but I know what that looks like. So obviously, it probably wasn't the oil that was put on the filter here. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a combination of dust and oil coming from the intake. But I was wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I'm gonna take this off, clean the intake, with some brake cleaner, and still pondering if I want to scope it or not. But as it's obvious, seriously. I mean, do I really need to? Let me get this off. What I'm gonna do, it's so hard to look through this, and then let me see, I got to pull that up by itself. So already I can tell that it's doing a little better. I don't know if it's the cool temperatures, because of the cool temperatures, but it's at 0 now. I'm gonna start it up. If this doesn't work, then I'll go to the extent of scoping it, but until then, no. So yeah, look at it. Because this is a big ass motor anyway, and that volume of air. Oh gosh. Let's see if it do better. Is it gonna do any better? No. Let me see if I can give it a little. Yeah, no. So. Already spoke too soon. I wish I could find voltage. Shit. Hold on. Do. Have a moment of silence. So let me go through my basic fuel and fire check, because maybe I'm pretty wrong on this one. Let me go to injector post with. Well, let's take another avenue. Okay, so I'm not having any luck. It's okay to be wrong sometime. I didn't throw a part at it. Probably wasted a few minutes, learned a lesson, as I always do. So I'm by myself. I need to probably try fuel and fire, but I think it's fuel because when I spray brake cleaner in the intake, it starts up. I'm gonna show you something you can do if you're by yourself too, and you need to be able to throw fuel into the intake, and like this is pretty inconvenient. Hold on one second. All right. So this is what I designed. I took some plastic brake line, not brake line, but vacuum line. Like this came off of a Ford. Like they'll have a plastic vacuum line that goes to a rubber elbow, and then I crazy glued the straw inside of there, and then just put the expanded one, or the one that's not reduced, into the rubber vacuum line, and it had in the necessary length here. So all I gotta do is hook this up inside of there. I can spray it, and fuel will come out the tip of here. So what I'm gonna slide it in here, get a little corner. I'm not gonna worry about the mass airflow being exposed or being a problem, but I'm just gonna get it in the corner here so I can emit some fuel inside of there and stay in the truck. Now, if it catches on fire, it's your fault. So, be cautious when you try this. But let's see if I can do this. Oh shucks, let me get it lined up. Yeah, so this is generally how it looks. So when I spray it, it will spray into the intake there. So yeah, I can sit inside of the truck and comfortably, somewhat, administer some fuel. Like I have fuel pump jobs go bad, I would do the same thing, so I could drive the car where I got to get to. And start right on up with the fuel source. All right, well, if it's starting up with the fuel source, I'm gonna tackle the no-go. And I'm gonna, oh shucks, one arm bandit. All right, so you administer, start up. Work. Yeah, it's not in there all the way. It slipped out. Yeah. Well, you get the idea. You can have the line as long as you want, but let me get the diagnosis on this damn car. All right, so it is definitely, in fact, a fuel source. So it's something fuel related. Now I got to find out is it the fuel pump or is it the fuel pump relay? So the next step I'm going to try to I'm going to find a fuel pump relay, or if I have it on my bi-directional tool here, try to activate the fuel pump. Whew, brake cleaner strong, man. So let's go to active test, engine, fuel pump. Because I think this is only really going to test the relay. So if you don't know what a relay is, and I don't feel like looking up a diagram right now, I'm going to pop that fuse box open and activate and deactivate the fuel pump relay. And whichever one I feel clicking, the one I'm going for. Is that accurate? Not really. However, alright, on off. I'll usually put my finger on it, and whichever one I feel clicking out, and then I'll take it out. Let me do that. Alright, so I got a fuel pressure gauge to it, and yeah, we're making low fuel pressure. yeah, let's see if I can get it to climb up again. Shucks. Well, I'll tell you what I saw. The fuel pressure go up to 40 and slowly start descend to 0. So I'm losing fuel pressure. I swapped relays, so it can't be that. The pump is actually getting power, because if it was not, it would not be coming on and staying on. But the resistance could be high in the pump. So when I start working on this truck, I'm going to make sure I got a good connection back there, make sure that fuel pump is getting good power. More than likely it is. It's just going to be a weak pump. Let's see if it'll work now. Okay, there you go. So there's the pressure. It's falling off. Yeah, that's what happens. So the pump is trying to work. It's got power. It's weak. I doubt if there's any type of obstruction, because it just wouldn't work. All right, well, let the guy know I need a fuel pump, and put a fuel pump in it. But yeah, if anything, we don't take nothing from this. I know this is like a generic diagnosing video, but yeah, this little tool here that I designed, I'm pretty sure somebody else made it. I haven't seen it. Give me credit, because I think I've done something new on the internet. But yeah, just take a straw and find some. You can get some vacuum line from the parts store. Make it as long as you want. Stick it up inside the head of there, and direct to the intake and drive it. You know, if you got to get it in the driveway or back it out, do anything, you can control the fuel by sitting in the car. So, like I said, if you blow your car up, not my fault. So, and I'm pretty sure if you've been working on cars, intake fires or something, that they do happen, and I got some horror stories. So, all right, well, let the guy know I need a fuel pump, give him a quote, and I'm going to work on my other project I was supposed to today. So I got the fuel tank down. It was pretty simple on this Avalanche. It was a 13, 15, of course a flathead, and you know, some jack stands and lifting equipment. But I got the fuel pump out. I got a little nervous because the joker started working when I put some power to it. So it's working now. And that's what happened. I tested the fuel pump. It sent power to the unit, and as the car continued to run, the pressure slowly died down, just as the pump is doing right now. This jump box isn't low. I can assure you the jump box isn't low. I mean, this joker's strong enough to start up a car. And it'll do this once the pump cools down. It'll start back working again until it gets hot and starts screwing up like it's doing. So yeah, it makes sense. That's why I didn't bother to check like relays, or, well, I mean, I did check the relay. I went through the scan tool and activated the relay. The pump would and then wouldn't come on sometime unless the same thing occurred with the ignition key, with cycling that on and off. So if it was, I mean, it was obvious. If it was getting power back there, there's nothing else in the fuel system, like the circuit wise, that would cause it to just apply power and then suddenly stop applying power, especially when I can activate the relay. It would work. Well, it wouldn't work, but I could send power to the relay. The relay is working because obviously it's sending power back there. I swapped the relay with another one. I mean, it's kind of a janky way of doing it, but swapped it with another relay with the same part number. Same thing happened. So obviously it's getting power back there, and it will start up consistently but intermittently. Checks the fuel pressure. Fuel pressure would rise, and then it would just fall off, just as the pump's doing now. So I mean, it was kind of pointless for me to sit there and check the circuit. So, and I'm pretty sure it's even worse when it gets start going through wiring and the resistance start to increase. So, I mean, this is probably as good as the power is going to get. Me literally giving it 12 volts from the jump box. All right, so I'm gonna get a new pump. Work on getting the quick disconnect line fitting disconnected under there because that's stuck. And get this truck done and we'll start it up. All right, got the truck done, the fuel pump's taken care of. One thing I want to do is I want to tear into this pump here. See what caused it to do what it did a little while ago. I'm pretty sure the brushes are worn slap out, but I don't know. I'm gonna find out. So I just rip this joker out. I'm gonna put a hammer to it, unless maybe I can take a flathead and gradually pry the sides off. I might let it soak in the water or cut in so I can cut into it. Don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. So I got it torn up. I just took a flathead to it. I guess the brushes went out. That's my best assumption there. I can't get a good view in there what the commutator looks like. Okay. Hey, it's a brand new one in there now, and it works. So on to the next one. So I just finished this truck, and I just said, let me go ahead and take a look at the mass airflow sensor again, and injector duty cycle. So I got the key on, engine off, and I'm not sure if this is the closed loop or open loop issue, but I mean, now the fuel pump is replaced. Strangely, it's just strange. The ignition switch on, car off. Is at 0. It wasn't at point 0.06 or 0.02 as before. And start up. The injector pulse width is in like at 35 milliseconds as it was before. But I don't know if that had anything to do with the open loop or the loop status. I'm pretty sure it probably did. I'm just assuming, but I'll just review the footage. Maybe that's probably what it was. We'll probably hook this up back tomorrow and start it up. See if I look at the same PIDs and if it does show that same injector time and the mass airflow. So I'm just out of curiosity. So I don't know. I just want to make note of that. Other than that, truck's running, starts up, everything runs great, and going to do a test drive and send it off. Piece of hair grease.